I hate reaction videos. Why? Because there is no effort in making them, there is no creativity going into them, and they don't create anything new. There's literally just a person watching something and reacting to it. And now, as of today, I will be one of those people because I am seeing so many people reacting to my original videos, and some of those reaction videos get even more views than my videos, which is kind of frustrating because my channel, my main channel, is going to the toilet, and I need some money. I'm wearing gloves because in Germany it's winter and energy prices have quadrupled. So I'm getting kind of broke, you know. So I am becoming a reaction video maker, if that's a thing. And let's see how far we can go, what happens if this channel performs better than my normal channel. I will just do reaction videos the whole day, you know, like whatever. So now that we have that out of the way, we are going to watch something. We are going to watch American things Europeans can't understand. I am a European and I have never been to the States. And yeah, let's see what I cannot understand apparently.
While the culture of the United States is exported all over the world in films and on TV, it also abides by some laws and practices that many consider unusual. Europeans in particular seem to have a hard time wrapping their heads around some of them. From child beauty pageants to gun laws, let's take a look at some American things that Europeans can't understand.
Alright.
Sick of commercials. If you're a European enjoying a cozy night in on the couch in America, some of the stuff on TV may shock and surprise you. And no, I'm not talking about Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm talking about commercials, which arrive so frequently it makes watching TV feel almost unbearable to anyone unaccustomed to it.
Seals leaks instantly. Use it on
Especially pharmaceutical commercials, which usually show grumpy men and women turned into smiling, happy people by the product being sold. These are usually followed by an almost comically long list of potential side effects spoken at double speed, like Ambien ad.
As well as abnormal.
I'm not sure if I understand this correctly. Do you guys have more commercials than we do? Because in Germany, at least, in public TV, there's a lot of commercials going on. Like every 15 minutes, there's a commercial break from 2 to 5 minutes or something. So that's a lot of commercials. I can't even imagine that being more, actually.
Normal behaviors such
Let's
as being more
continue.
outgoing or aggressive than normal, confusion, agitation, and hallucinations may occur. Don't take it with alcohol as it may increase these behaviors. Allergic reactions such as shortness of breath, swelling of your tongue or throat may occur and in rare cases may be fatal. Side effects may include next-day drowsiness, dizziness, and headache. In patients with depression, worsening of depression including risk of suicide.
Why is it so
These
fast?
types of direct-to-consumer commercials peddle prescription drugs, which is an advertising standard that was rejected by the European Commission back in 2002. The Commission stated that pharmaceutical companies were unable to provide impartial information on their medicines. If that's the case, why is it practiced in America?
Wait a second. We do have pills commercials or medicine commercials in Germany. So I'm not sure if this is entirely true. Maybe they have to be in a certain way that they can't like promote it as the best thing in the world. But we certainly have commercials for medicine. Yeah.
To put it simply, there's simply never been a federal law passed to outlaw the practice. This is in no small part thanks to the fact that direct-to-consumer drugs and their accompanying ads are a huge business. And in America, whether it's right or wrong, the rules tend to follow the money. Europeans might actually need a pill for the headache all those ads give them. May cause drowsiness, loss of limbs, telepathic powers, and a violent hatred of cheese. No place like home. Let's say you're a European who's just moved over to America. You found a house in a nice residential neighborhood and you're going through your bills. Rent, water, gas, electric, all seems in order. But wait a second. What's a homeowners association fee? To a native, that's a pretty obvious question. But for Europeans, it's an unwelcome surprise. These fees
Homeowner
contributes to the local
Association.
homeowners association, which is somewhat like a neighborhood watch, but managing funds to be reinvested into the community. It goes towards things like residential maintenance and common spaces, which keeps residents happy and property values up.
Okay. How high is that fee? That would be actually interesting. I mean, it would be nice to have something like that if it actually goes into the neighborhood, but depending how high it is.
With around 24% of all Americans living under a homeowners association, they pay $200 to $300 on average per month in
Per
fees to
month?
these entities. Now, while some
I'm
Europeans
out.
might struggle with this concept, it was a form of
Per
governance
month.
that was actually
Can go on
invented by
holiday for
France
that.
back in 1804. The condominium law was exported to the U.S., where it became incredibly popular. So, for any European that wants to complain about homeowner regulations and fees, feel free to blame the French.
Is that obligatory? Or is that like you can opt out and in? Because if it's obligatory, I would never, if I wouldn't be a millionaire, move to a neighborhood where you have to pay this fee.
Vacant vacation days. The USA has one of the largest economies in the world. A tremendous economy, in the president's words. But Europeans looking to get into the American world of work are often shocked when it comes to vacation time. U.S. workers are not entitled to mandatory paid vacation at all. Usually, the issue of paid leave is left at the discretion of employers. And yes, that does include national holidays. According to research
What?
from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics,
That includes national holidays. So you have to ask your employer to go on vacation on a national holiday. That can't be true, can it? So I mean, why would it be a national holiday if it's not a holiday for the nation? Okay.
in 2017, only 77% of American workers had access to paid vacation. Now, the reason that might leave
Why only?
Europeans
That's a
slack,
lot.
John, is because mandatory paid vacation time in Europe starts at 4 weeks. In fact, America is one of the only Western countries where law doesn't enforce companies to give its employees mandatory paid vacation time. Don't believe me? Take a look at this map breaking down mandatory paid vacation time by country. Only the gray countries are known
It's
not to give paid
white.
time off. It's a working culture
worse
that
than Africa.
undoubtedly favors employers over employees. Americans might want to think about learning Chinese instead, as employers in China must legally offer 5 days of holiday. Although that is after one continuous year of work.
What?
Win some, lose some, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually, and I heard this many times from people from the States, one of the great benefits of living in Germany or Europe, that you have so many vacation days. In Germany, you have to give the person, by law, 24 vacation days per year, and they are fully paid. And most companies actually give much more than that, so 30 days, 35 days a year of paid vacation days are very common actually. And Germans love to go on holiday, they love traveling, so it's very important to them to have that.
Florida man. If the American states could be looked at as a dysfunctional family, then Florida would be the weird uncle who once ran away with the circus and wrestled a tiger. The Sunshine State is the third most populous state in the USA and receives over 100 million visitors year on year. With so many people living
100 million visitors a year? That's too many. That's like the whole population of Germany, plus 20 million. Who's going there?
living between Miami Beach, Disneyland, and Pensacola, a little crazy is bound to be found on the fringes of society. But what Europeans aren't prepared for are the crazy antics of Floridians that make daily headlines. From Florida man believed that he was half man, half dog in March 2019 to Florida man robs bank, strips naked, then runs down the street throwing stolen money everywhere in July 2017. You can search the internet for almost any day of the year and find a headline announcing Florida man has committed an utterly baffling crime. There doesn't seem to be an equivalent for any European countries, although the UK comes close with some of its questionable journalism topics.
Look at that
like
face. Oh my god.
Britain's fattest woman ate fridge and died.
She ate a fridge. How can you eat a fridge? It's made out of metal.
Let me know the funniest local headlines you've ever seen at stories@bmas.com.
Wait. They're gonna tell me there's a woman who ate a fridge and then died, and then they're not gonna tell me about it. What is that? Woman ate fridge and died. Britain's fattest woman fridge. Okay. Let's see what it's about. How can you mention something like that in a video and not talk about it? Oh my god. What? Britain's fattest woman died weighing 40 stone. What is stone? Doctors warned her to lose weight or die. But she confessed, food is an addiction. I can't fight. Okay, so after... Did she eat the fridge or everything that was in the fridge? Chocoholic Brenda Davies died from a heart attack after her weight rocketed to 40 st when she had her fridge moved next to her bed. So this article was misleading. She did eat her fridge. She moved her fridge next to her bed. And then she ate everything inside the fridge and then she died.
VAT trouble.
Okay.
In Europe, like most of the world, tax is built into the price of items in-store and online.
Yep.
So what you see on the tag is what you pay. But Europeans visiting an American store might be left doing a double take at their bill when they reach the register. There is no national sales tax or value-added tax in America. Instead, American taxes differ by jurisdiction,
What?
of which there are around 7,000.
I didn't know they have different VATs in different states in the States. 10, 25, 7. Why is it so different?
Differences in these local rates, state taxes, or combined state and local taxes means that final prices for the same item can differ from one street to the next. For first-time shoppers in the U.S., this unpleasant surprise is a rite of passage that no one asked for.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Why would you have to calculate the final price in your head if you can just put the real price on store? Does it make you feel like you buy something cheaper when you look at the price? I mean, that's the only logical explanation I can have.
Tipping point. A meal at a restaurant can be a real treat, but Europeans visiting America sometimes stress about the tip. Although tipping anywhere up to 20% seems normal to most Americans, there's no such obligation in Europe. Indeed, it's mostly seen as a bonus reward for good service, and in some European countries, it's even considered rude and excessive to leave a tip. The American federal government, however,
I have never heard of a European country where it's rude to tip. The only country I know where it's rude to tip is Japan. But yeah, 20% tip, that's just ridiculous. I have never left anyone a tip of 20%. 10% you give if the service was extraordinary. Most of the time you just round up the numbers. So you pay 28 euro, you make it 30. Having this obligatory tip would make me feel I'm being cheated on because, yeah, why don't you pay your waiter enough to live off in the first place? And actually, I was this year in South Africa and there were a few bars at the beach bars, and they had an obligatory tip of 10 or 15%, and they didn't say it anywhere in the menu or online on the website. And then I saw this and I was like, what the hell? They're trying to charge me 15% on top of what I intended to pay. There was no option out of that. And the only choice I had to leave a 1-star review. And I will leave a 1-star review for every restaurant or bar that makes a tip obligatory. Because fuck that.
States that tips can be used to satisfy the difference between the employee's hourly wage and the standard minimum wage. This means food servers, valets, and in-house staff in certain states can be working for a federal wage of just $2.13 per hour.
$2? Who works for $2?
About €1.96. So if you're a European visitor to the States, get ready to factor in your tip to the overall price of your meal.
Are you trying to tell me? I don't know what the federal state. What is that? What is that?
Staff in certain states can be working for a federal wage of just
What is a federal wage? Is there like a minimum wage? Because if that's the minimum wage, of course people are like employers are gonna abuse that. That shouldn't be legal.
$2.13 per hour, which is about €1.96. So if you're a European visitor to the States, get ready to factor in your tip to the overall price of your meal. You might well be contributing to a struggling waiter's rent. Child beauty pageants. If you've ever been unfortunate enough to have watched an episode of Toddlers and Tiaras on TLC,
I haven't.
think you might side with the Europeans.
I've seen
on the
this.
next matter.
Little children shouldn't wear this much makeup. I mean, even grown women shouldn't wear this much makeup.
Child beauty pageants are common across America and usually consist of dolled-up little girls being thrust onto a stage to entertain a crowd of screaming moms. It's truly bizarre, but what's equally strange is how the craze got started. Child pageants originated from American Better Baby contests in the early 20th century. Babies would be scored on characteristics like weight, quality of skin, and face shape, supposedly in the name of helping to educate mothers on best practices for healthy babies. But of course, it wasn't just for education purposes. There were also cash rewards and trophies for top-ranking toddlers. This has slowly devolved into the bedazzled tradition of pushing a child on stage in full makeup and styled hair to do a dance routine for prize money. Although some European countries host similar but smaller events, others like France have gone as far as to ban all such pageants, claiming they're an unhealthy way to treat young girls.
That's very unhealthy.
Their general creepiness alone should be enough to slam the brakes on child beauty pageants. Honey boo boo, no thanks.
They should really ban this. This is just wrong. Just let the children be children and not be this fake puppet. Disgusting.
Size is everything. According to an old saying,
Everything's bigger in Texas.
but if you're a European, you'll probably think that about all of America, right down to its people. It's no secret that America has a little bit of a weight problem. 2/3 of American adults classify as overweight, and it's estimated that almost 40% of adults in the U.S. aged 20 and over are obese. Contrasted to Europe, where a survey carried out
20%?
20 and over are obese.
That's
Contrasted to Europe, where a survey carried out in 2014 labeled just 15% of adults obese.
Well, 15% is still a lot for obese. Obese is not like overweight, it's super fat, right?
That's a king size difference with a side
What?
of
No. They just said 20% are obese.
labeled just 15% of adults obese. That's a king size difference with a side
Whatever.
of fries. The American tendency to overeat might have something to do with portion sizes in the States. A study comparing portions in Paris and Philadelphia revealed food outlet portions were 25% larger in Philly. And a review of 17 different single-serve foods like yogurt and candy bars found that 14 of them were bigger in Philadelphia. While a one-state to one-country comparison doesn't necessarily represent the whole, Europeans on social media often comment on how much bigger everything seems stateside. Have you noticed this difference in portion sizes? Let me know in the comments below. Bonus points for food puns.
I wouldn't know. I have never been to the States.
Oh, sugar. Living in America can really give you a taste for the sweet life, but your teeth won't thank you for it. Why? Well, some American foods and drinks have been found to contain huge amounts of sugar compared to their European equivalents. Some common bread brands contain up to 6 grams of sugar per serving, 6 times the amount found in European counterparts. But
Bread is not supposed to taste sweet. Okay? Please learn that.
it doesn't end there. Taking a look at Pizza Hut's sugar content reveals most of their stateside pizzas have close to double the amount of sugar per slice as European versions. And in
Okay.
Starbucks, a UK venti white chocolate mocha will contain 62.4 grams of sugar, but in America, that shoots up to 72 grams. I've heard of sweetening the deal, but any Europeans making the trip across the Atlantic might leave suffering from the toothache. Gaps in the market. European standards of building a public restroom involve plenty of privacy, mainly in the form of cubicles with doors that are more door than gap. Seems obvious, but it's a standard that Americans just can't seem to adopt. With ridiculously large gaps at the top, bottom, and sides, it makes for a truly uncomfortable first visit to an American toilet for unwitting visitors. On their first time, Europeans are left feeling especially susceptible to unwelcome visitors and peeping Toms. Some people even resort to taping up the gap to prevent prying eyes looking in.
No. Are the gaps really that big? That huge? That you can look through? How is it possible? Americans are so... They don't want to show anything. In Europe, people love to be naked and show their wiener in public in the sauna, you know. And then they do this? In America? Why?
But as strange as the design seems, there are some theories as to why Americans build their stalls this way. For a start, high floor gaps allow for easier cleaning, and they do make it simpler to pass toilet paper from one cubicle to another.
So
On
important.
top of that, the vertical gaps act as a deterrent for anyone thinking of doing anything naughty behind closed doors. But there's always the chance you might accidentally get a real eyeful. Maybe just close your eyes before entering any American restrooms. Trigger.
That's weird.
It strikes many Europeans as a bit odd that in America you can pick up your groceries from one aisle of a store and a gun from another. Indeed, you can buy guns over the counter in places like Walmart, and ammo can be found in pharmacies.
What? You can buy guns in Walmart? I didn't know that. And ammo at the pharmacy? That's shocking.
Seeing as guns are still legal in many parts of Europe, what is it that Europeans find weird about the gun-loving, rifle-wielding, Second Amendment-touting American citizen? It might have something to do with America's gun-related death rate, seeing as per capita, there were 12 gun-related deaths for every 100,000 people in America in 2017. Very few European countries exceed 3 gun-related deaths per 100,000 people.
Obviously.
And none even come close to America's 12 per 100,000. The causes of the problem are fiercely debated, but it might have something to do with how easy it is to buy a gun. Background checks are usually carried out, but a research survey from Harvard in 2015 estimated that a third of American gun owners have purchased a firearm without a background check. In Europe, many countries like Austria and Germany require would-be gun owners to go through a rigorous 7-step procedure before owning a gun. High-caliber handguns are outright banned.
Yeah. In Germany, if you want to own a gun, you have to do training. You have to be member of a club, Schießverein, if they're called like that. I don't even know. I think you even have to see a psychologist who evaluates if you are like in a stable mental state, which I think makes total sense. If I, as a German, have to go to the States where every crazy person can have a gun, I'm gonna shit my pants. Seriously. It's dangerous. Crazy people and guns, not a good combination, okay?
In the UK, and many categories of semi-automatic weapons are illegal to own across Europe. It's simply much harder to legally purchase a gun in Europe than it is in the US, which I'm sure is a trigger point for some.
Haha.
Have you noticed any all-American quirks of your own?
Okay, that was it. American things Europeans can't understand. Well, some things I really can't understand. The thing why there's so big holes at the toilet, public toilet. Why you give guns to crazy people? I don't understand. But that was not mentioned. Oh, of course, the little girl thing, which is just horrible. I mean, just let them be children. Let them be children. To be honest, the more I understand and hear about American culture, the more I appreciate living and being raised in Europe, you know, because we just can't feel safe There's no crazy people having guns. You can go on holiday for a long time. And we have good bread. No sugar in there. Okay. And if you want to see me reacting to anything else, just let me know in the comments below. What would you want to see a German react to? See you in the next video.